And the final item in our Best of the Web section, on this, the 68th weekly Friday show from Radio Free UK, is a bit of a wild card. This again is from Alan Taylor Shearer's podcast, Alan's Antics, and is entitled, "The Internet was just taken over by a global monopoly and no one even noticed." As I say, it's a bit of a wild card, but we've included it because it's just such an important subject that more people should be aware of.
From anonnews.co. The internet was just taken over by a global monopoly, and no one even noticed. By Claire Burnish. The United States ceded oversight to one of the internet's most basic and fundamental functions, the so-called root zone, which governs new domain names and addresses, handing it over to a small non-profit group by allowing a 47-year contract to expire. For decades, the U.S. Commerce Department held a contract which the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers, or ICANN, whose executives and board of directors must now report to an Internet stakeholder community, loosely comprised of academics, activists, engineers, government officials, and corporate interests. In theory, the advisory panel can revoke ICANN's authority entirely should it not live up to expectations, but all actions are supposed to be done by consensus. With the lapse of the contract, the US fulfilled its objective to privatize the Internet, something proponents claim would help bolster its integrity around the world. As the Internet rapidly expanded around the planet, many felt US oversight anachronistic. This transition was envisaged 18 years ago, said Stephen Crocker, board chairman of ICANN and an engineer who helped develop early Internet protocols. In a statement cited by AFP, yet it was the tireless work of the global Internet community which drafted the final proposal, and that made this a reality. This community validated the multi-stakeholder model of Internet governance. It's shown that a governance model defined by the inclusion of all voices, including business, academics, technical experts, civil society, governments, and many others, is the best way to assure that the Internet of tomorrow remains as free, open, and accessible as the Internet of today. But the move didn't come without vehement opposition, including from some US lawmakers who felt giving up oversight could permit less scrupulous regimes to seize total or partial control of the vital Internet function, with potentially disastrous results. Attorneys General for Texas, Arizona, Oklahoma, and Nevada staged a last-minute effort to intervene by requesting a temporary restraining order, which was heard in federal court in Texas on Friday. Despite their understandable fears, the contract lapse would put the US and the Internet in uncharted territory and could threaten the integrity of .gov addresses and more. The judge denied their request. Opposition to handing oversight to ICANN has largely, but not entirely, come from the GOP. Senator Ted Cruz asserted this week after a failed attempt to halt the move by adding legislation to a funding measure. Quote, President Obama intends to give increased control of the Internet to authoritarian regimes like China, Russia, and Iran. Like Jimmy Carter gave away the Panama Canal, Obama is giving away the Internet, end quote. Technical experts say it isn't as simple as giving away the Internet, since the US didn't own it in the first place. Officially, the Internet Assigned Numbers Authority, or IANA, in the hands of ICANN does not present pertinent questions. As the Chicago Tribune reports, while the Internet itself was designed to function without a central authority, ICANN has played a small but crucial role since its foundation in 1998, at the urging of the Clinton administration, replacing a program run under the authority of the Defense Department. ICANN oversees the process of assigning domain names and underlying Internet Protocol, or IP, addresses, allowing users and anyone on the Internet to navigate to sites such as WashingtonPost.com. Private companies called registrars and approved by ICANN, such as GoDaddy.com or Name.com, sell the domain names to companies or individuals. ICANN's decisions haven't been without controversy, however, and the US had the option of offering the contract to another entity. Somebody has to be responsible for this. This is a common space, explained Garth Bruin, a cybersecurity expert who sits on the ICANN advisory board. As quoted in the Tribune, there's no checks and balances anymore. Before, there was a threat of accountability. And as The Economist noted, whoever controls the Internet's address book also holds the power to censor. Any domain name can be revoked and the website no longer found. Critics have also noted the eagerness of proponents of the transition, such as notorious globalist George Soros, as an indicator ceding control should be considered more carefully, or at least delayed significantly, to give the American public some say in the matter. Still, experts say such fears are wildly overblown. Quote, "There's absolutely no way that this is going to imperil freedoms," asserted Matthew Shears, Director of Global Internet Policy for the Center for Democracy and Technology, a Washington-based advocacy group largely supported by the tech industry. Per the Tribune, there is absolutely no way that this is going to allow Russia or Iran or anybody to take control of the Internet. This has nothing to do with that. Whether the transition will ultimately prove beneficial or detrimental likely won't be fully realized for some time. So this Internet that you have access to, where you can say what you want and effectively be who you want, well, that's all going to go soon because it's going to be for profit soon. Somebody's got to make plenty of money on this, and we're running out of places to invade, so the next space is cyberspace. Here they come.